Welcome to another Eden's Refuge rapid fire design. If you're interested in a design done on your property, go to www.edensrefuge.ca/rapid-fire. Fill out with as much information as you can and we can provide a better design for you that way. And this is currently a free service that we're offering for now. As it is still a fairly new system. We'll see. We're hoping to keep it free ongoing. So here we have a property. They have a few things they love about their property and a few things they would like to change. So first off, this tree is gone and they are loving how much sunlight they get on this property. So this a very well lit, bright property. North is, I believe it's somewhere in that direction. And so they love that. What they don't like is, so this drop here is a bit of an accessibility issue. They don't like how much grass they have to mow. That's a lot of grass. And they don't like how they are not supporting like native pollinators very well. So this tree would have done some to support the pollinators. Trees are one of the best early sources of pollen and of nectar. But with that gone, there really isn't a whole lot going on here. And they've stated a budget of under $500. We're going to keep it as low as we can in this project. So if this was a bigger budget project, we might look at something like, a little retaining wall, build this out flat. There could either be a ramp or some stairs, or also there's just there's this path here so they can come around that way. And then there's room for bushes down below or whatever's wanted. In this case, because we're trying to keep it as inexpensive as possible, I'm not going to change this slope. I'm not going to change that at all. What I'm going to look at is if I put a bush here, you've got the slight downslope, but not a whole lot, and a slight upslope, but not a whole lot. You've basically just erased this little ledge and made it into, you've got land that goes over and over. And that's just going to swallow up that rise entirely. Now, in order to do it nice and cheap, a great option that is great for pollinators is black elderberry. And at this time of year, you should still be able to get some hopefully free black elderberry cuttings from someone in the community, especially if you reach out on Facebook, the free pages, the local gardening groups. You can get cuttings of black elderberry, and you'll get a cutting, and on the cuttings there'll be these little bumps, and if there's a bump here and there's a bump here, you can cut it off here. They're wonderful that you don't actually need one at the top and the bottom, and you just shove this in the ground up to about here. So all this area is under, and then this should grow a tree with fairly high success. If you want better success, you can have one at the top and one at the bottom, and then this gives a place to grow roots. Then you again bury it up to there, and this is something that you can typically get for cheap or free. So you're going to stick a couple of them in the ground along here, and then those will eventually fill out and become bushes. Now they can grow quite tall, but they do really well being pruned. So because they love their light, I'm guessing that they're not going to want us to block too much light from these windows. Now this is kind of to the north, so it shouldn't shade their windows all that much. And even if it did grow up tall, these are going to provide lots of flowers fairly early in the year and a fair bit later on in the year as well for the pollinators. And then the berries are great for the birds. They love them. Also great for human uses. And then at this point, we have kind of dealt with this problem of the hill here, hopefully at about $0. So then let's take a look at this property line over here. I don't know if they want to kind of block anything off or not, but serviceberry, also known Saskatoon berry, Juneberry, has a number of names. It grows with this kind of multi-stemmed, windy, neat look, and they put on lots of great berries or lots of great flowers for the pollinators, and then berries that the birds absolutely adore. I quite like them as well, and these are one that you can get them fairly inexpensively. They're more bush price than tree price typically. Eventually, they can grow, to be a fairly big plant here, but they will take to some pruning as well. So that'll provide more blossoms, and then the berries again are good for human consumption, but the birds will also devour them, and birds are another pollinator. So feeding the birds is great. We'll keep them supported around here. So now, depending on what kind of sale you've managed to get these ones on, this might be under $100 for this project so far. You're going to want to put tree guards on things, so that might be another $100 or $50. Buy some of the steel hardware cloth, that welded wire, ideally, half to a quarter inch distance between those, and cut coils to wrap around the trunks. If the snow comes this high, then you ideally protect, a little bit above that, because the rabbits might chew them down. Fortunately, both of these trees so far will do great. If they are chewed down, they should come right back up. Now we've got some space. I don't know what this is, and I don't know what this is. I can't make them out in these pictures. But something that I would consider is some, along here. My just went down to 0.1 of a pixel. There we go. Along here, maybe putting in some lilac, some nice common lilac. Puts on those beautiful purple flowers. The pollinators love them. Again, they can be a really inexpensive plant to find, and the flowers can be used in baking. You can also make a syrup from them that makes a delicious drink. If you freeze it, then you can have the pure taste of summer in the middle of winter. So now we've got 3 kind of higher bushes, and we're probably including all of our tree guards, under $300. Now we've got, we still have some room that I would consider opting for different local wildflower seeds. Not necessarily those wildflower mixes. A lot of them are wildflower mixes that aren't specific to the area. Usually that's okay. Sometimes they have things that shouldn't be grown around here. But take a look at the plants in there. Look them up one by one if you want, or find someone that you trust, and then get your different seeds. And then that would be a good option for, run some. I just made my. Just made my control way too big. Have to figure out how I'm doing that by accident. So we can stick some flowers in on either side here. Potentially some along the front. I'm not sure what they have growing here, but they can put some flowers there, some more flowers along the base of here, and really as much of this yard as they want, they can seed out to wildflowers. On this side, I don't know if they own this side or not, but that's another opportunity for, whether it's just wildflowers, whether it's lilacs or elderberries. I probably wouldn't go with the serviceberry on that side. There's not really enough room for them there. And then even this area, depending on the town, sometimes they'll let you plant them out, and they can get them planted out with some additional wildflowers. So here we've got one. Let me switch up my color here to something a little more obvious here. We've got 1, 2, and 3. I'm dreading on the background now. I was wondering why I went behind there. Different sets of larger bushes that are addressing that hill problem. We're still keeping as much of this open for sunlight as possible. And we've taken up a bit of the grass, and then we've added in, as much in here as we want or as we're permitted to, of wild plantings. They've got some vines growing up against the house, and honestly, grow whatever flowers you want. Grow your herb gardens. The pollinators love the herb gardens, so I don't know where their kitchen is, but if their kitchen is, say, over here, then I would put a garden in over there with some herbs. If their kitchen is near this entrance, then I would consider using some of this area to grow your culinary herbs as well. So they're going to benefit you in the kitchen, and they are going to benefit your pollinators. This has been a rapid fire design from Eden's Refuge. If you'd like a design, www.edensrefuge.ca/rapid-fire. Fill out with as much detail as you can, and we will give you the best rapid fire design that we can. Until next time.